Lafayette Police 911.
Yes, ma'am. Shot fired. Shot fired.
Somebody hit?
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody got shot?
Yes, ma'am.
Did somebody shoot you?
Yeah, no, I'm ready to stab me.
You're stabbed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is the person there that did it?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
Where are they at? Who is it?
I don't know.
Where's the person that stabbed you?
Whoa! Fire! 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 Fire!
What?
Fire!
Okay, what's that noise going off? Are you still there?
Police arrived at the scene after a 911 call from Jimmy Knight, who said his landlord and roommate had been stabbed inside the house.
2 officers were already up at the front door. You could see the flames coming out of the side window that's next to the front door, and they were trying to kick in the front door.
What? Right. Hit. Did it again.
I was worried. Obviously, the heat is a big factor because if anything goes, or we don't know what's inside this house.
What, do you guys have a gas mask in your car?
I do not.
Who is that?
That is the guy that I think is stabbed.
Trying to think of how. You don't know right now.
Johnny, you got that?
Yeah, we're hitting it right now.
We had to back away from the front door because the heat from the fire that was in that area, and plus the flames I saw inside the window, and all that was coming out towards the front door. So smoke was coming out through the top of the roof. It was coming out from underneath the door and around it. And at one point, it got so hot and so smoky that we had to back away because we were all kind of coughing at that moment. It was a chaotic situation. We had the house fire, which was going up, and we had possibly another person still inside the house. So we couldn't account for them or even what was going on in there. Other than that, we also have a suspect. Where is that suspect? Is he here? Is he planning an ambush, or what are we looking at? You had a lot of factors going into it. We had the victim that needed to be attended to for medical purposes. We didn't know exactly how bad those wounds were.
Yeah, we need to probably get him moved if we can. Hey, do you want to glove up? We're going to carry him away.
The victim was safe, but the house caught more fire.
Due to not being able to make entry into the front of the house, we made our way around to the side of the house to see if there was any other entry points, at which time, when we go around, we noticed there was blood on a window.
Blood crawls on this. Lafayette, please! See if you can get through that goddamn fence.
Hinges are coming this way.
Rid of here. Bam.
When we went to the backyard, there was a deck back there. We went up to the back door.
Lafayette, please!
We saw that the screen door was closed, and then the actual hard door on the inside was wide open.
I hear something in there. God! I can hear.
That roof is completely. Lafayette Police.
Please! Now! Come to my boy!
So we started yelling in to try to get attention of anybody that may be inside.
Hey, come to my boy!
Get down on the ground and come towards our boys. Stay low.
Anything to try to stir anybody and try to get them to us, get them out of that house that is completely on fire. Eventually, it just got to the point where that black smoke was coming out so thick that we had to back off because we all were coughing.
Get out of the smoke. Go. Let fire do their job.
After the firefighters arrived, they found one man, Ron Wiles.
This crime scene was a little bit different because, in a fire, you're going to lose a lot of things. You're going to lose DNA, you're going to lose fingerprints. So we try to keep everything intact as best as possible to get the best evidence that we can send to the lab to help us put these pieces of this puzzle together.
During the initial phases of our crime scene analysis, when Ron was located, officers and detectives got in there and they seen that he had gunshot wounds. The cause of death was the gunshot wounds to major organs. This was a homicide. The evidence that was found at the scene was shell casings, a knife, and blood. There was also a pour pattern of ignitable substance.
Close to the bed was Ron's wallet with his driver's license through Indiana, and it had been gone through.
Is this also a robbery?
With a crime scene or anything like this, and in this case in particular, there was an immense amount of evidence.
When you see multiple things going on at a crime scene, your head starts to spin.
After the house burned, investigators collected many objects as evidence and then went to the hospital to meet Jimmy Knight.
You woke up what? Somebody shot your landlord.
Lafayette 14. My secretary is saying that someone shot the landlord in the house that he was in with him. They come here saying that the landlord was shot prior to the house catching on fire.
Jimmy told detectives when they were able to talk to him in the hospital, he heard what he thought was firecrackers. So he opens up his door and looks towards Ron's room and sees an individual firing at Ron. And then when he surprised this individual, he fought for the gun.
In the middle of this fight, he wasn't sure exactly what happened. He thought he was being punched or hit, but it turned out he was being stabbed. He was able to get away, get back into his room, call 911, and as he's doing that, he's hearing some more shots, and then sees that there's flames and there's a fire, and he tries to get out of the house.
As a detective, we question everything, and we start with basically skepticism on everything that everyone tells us. The story that Jimmy told us initially sounded very plausible simply because of evidence that we had been able to corroborate inside the crime scene.
The crime scene investigators that were outside noticed a set of white headphones kind of outside one of the trucks by a door. Is that involved? We don't know, but they're going to take that and secure that as evidence because it could be the driver of that vehicle, right? It could be a passerby that dropped him, or it could be our suspect. So our CSIs secured it, photographed it, and then we were able to later send it to the lab.
As we were canvassing the neighborhood, we did have a neighbor who had their vehicles broken into. They said that they've had items stolen from their truck before.
I had a 38 Ross in there that's gone. I had a 40 Smith Wesson MP that's gone out of this. I mean, we carry it for personal protection.
You said you had a 38 Rossi. What color was it?
Black.
Okay.
Stub nose. It had a leather case made by Ross and a tan leather case. You know, like a rub
in his van too.
The hip holster thing. Oh yeah, my windows
Is that
busted
the
out.
only thing that was...
The only thing of any value.
Okay. Just other minor things that were taken as well?
Everything in my truck's been tossed. My glove box. Everything in my backseat was tossed around. Everything in this truck. I had 2 cartons of cigarettes in this truck that's gone. A cup full of change, gone.
That we have a gunshot victim inside the house, it's a high probability that the person that stole these guns went in to do more and then ended up shooting Ron.
When I found out the guns had been stolen, just kind of a little light bulb, just kind of something to keep in the back of your head. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and go down one avenue 100 miles an hour and just forget about other things. But that's something that you're going to keep in the back of your head, that maybe one of these guns is related to this incident.
And we learned that Chris and Ron had been into a heated argument, that they had had some sort of falling out about money owed to him.
He also had a warrant for an unrelated case. Based on Mr. Johnson's past and the things that we're piecing together with the thefts, you want to find anybody that could be a potential suspect as fast as possible. So it was important that we tracked him down sooner rather than later.
We've known each other since 6th grade summer and got very close because Ron was a gentle soul. He could defuse any situation, even when friends were disagreeing. And it never resulted in anything violent. Ron just despised fisticuffs.
When I found out about Ron, I had texted him and I was asking him about something. He never responded back. And I thought, that's really odd. And my wife and I went by Ron's house, and then there was all the police cars and ambulances. Well, what was going through my mind was probably the worst. My initial feeling was anger. How could this happen to somebody like Ron? He was the person that would help strangers at the drop of a hat. So yeah, I was angry, and I couldn't understand how it would happen.
We wanted to find Chris for his warrants, but more importantly, we wanted to interview him for what he knew and maybe what he had done at Ron's house. We located Chris in another one of Ron's rental houses up on South Street. It only took us, I think, around 12 to 24 hours to find him.
I had been at headquarters, kind of getting a new game plan on how we were going to proceed. And once they located him, they brought him to headquarters, and then I conducted the interview with Mr. Johnson. So my initial thought was, let's talk to him about the theft. It's the lesser of the things. If he is our suspect and he did just shoot somebody and stab somebody, let's talk to him about the little thing that he's willing to talk about first, and then we'll transition into the information about the homicide.
So for us to be able to play the cards right and be able to talk to him about murder, this really needed to be a lot slower of a process and take our time with him to build rapport and such, because all in all, he knew he was going to jail the minute that police had contact with him. He knew he was going to jail. So whether he's going to jail for his warrants or whether he's going to jail for murder, we really had to be careful with him.
No, we had never had that before. So I'm going to get some real quick basic information from you.
Yeah.
Do you work anywhere?
Yeah, I work for myself. I work for Ron.
Ron? Who's Ron?
Ron Wiles, the owner of that building.
What building?
On South Street. He's the landlord slash subcontractor.
Okay, so I guess, so he's your landlord, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do you need to work for him?
Yeah.
What kind of work?
Clean up, demolition, tree trimming.
Kind of like random odd jobs here and there? Okay. How long have you been working for him?
Well, off and on for 10 years.
When's the last time you did a job for him?
I fixed a truck brake line for him, about 3 months ago.
Okay.
I've been doing my own tree trimming stuff lately.
I wanted to get a background on how he knew Ron and try to figure out what their relationship was like. And Chris was one of those kids that, had a rough life. He had been in and out of trouble. Obviously, we knew that. Ron kind of always had a soft spot for people like that. So he was always trying to help everybody kind of get a leg up, give him a second chance, that kind of thing. Once we got to the point in the interview where I felt it was necessary to tell him that Ron had died, and I did so, he had what I felt like was a pretty genuine response.
Well, so I did talk to some of the other detectives that have been at the house.
Yeah.
And it's not looking good for Ron. It doesn't look like he made it.
What the?
So that's part of this issue. Of why we're asking you guys these questions and talking to people, neighbors, and that kind of stuff.
And I know the fire was intentionally set.
Yeah, because there's some other things that go on that were involved, I guess, with the fire.
I know, but yeah, I would have done it. Damn.
So with that being said, and again, this is just part of my job, but you didn't have anything to do with the fire. You wouldn't have hurt Ron.
I hurt him. He's dead.
You wouldn't have hurt him in any way with any type of weapon or anything like that.
He's dead.
Instant tears, very upset, didn't really want to believe what I was telling him, and very adamant that he did not have anything to do with Ron being dead.
Now, I'm going to ask, who would have done this to Ron then? Give us some information on where do we go next? If it's not you, then who? Who would have had an issue with Ron? How can we find the person that would maybe argue with him?
Have any information that would help us? Now would be the time to talk to us.
He would have been mad at Ron in the last year. Let's see. But he would be mad at Ron in the last year.
Maybe let's narrow that down to like last couple months.
Rick him got into it. He kicked Andrew Alcorn off his property.
But were these recently?
Andrew Alcorn was, recently. Like that's been,
What was their issue?
They were staying with people just flopping around.
After speaking to Mr. Johnson, we have 2 new suspects potentially in this case, Richard Stevenson and Andrew Alcorn. 2 new names that we have to go track down that could be potential suspects and or witnesses or have some involvement in some kind.
Then the investigators divided into 2 teams to arrest both suspects, and they first found Richard Stevenson in the hospital.
He helped me and my wife drive the We didn't have no food in our house. And he didn't have enough work. He wasn't work that day. He said, "This is all I can do for you. I'm not going to you and your son might go hungry." But he went out and bought us like almost $80 worth of groceries. He gave me $20 to be able to get back and forth things. Ron was a good guy, man. A real good guy. And he didn't deserve something. Neither did this roommate either.
He told us that Ron was always trying to help everybody kind of get a leg up, give him a second chance. He told us that he didn't have any involvement in the killing of Ron, and he denied knowing anything about it, not being involved at all.
Look at Mom and Andy out, bro. He's just $35 right now to go get his old lady out of jail. I swear to God, he kept saying every day, "I'm gonna rob him."
That he was talking about robbing him on Saturday?
Yeah, that's the day that
What was his exact words?
He said, "I'm gonna rob this fat son, get my wife out of jail."
And that son of a was Ron?
Yes.
And then to get his wife out of jail?
His wife died. His wife died, but his girlfriend was in jail.
Okay. So to get his girlfriend out of jail?
Yes, his girlfriend. I didn't get to see his wife because his wife was dead. His wife died previously, a couple days before that. The old lady got arrested. And Ron kicked him out of those day houses he had. I kicked him off the property. I asked him, he was saying, "I'm gonna rob his son." He kept saying, "Saturday, I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna get him on Saturday right after he cleaned me." He likes all his rent money, kill his son, take everything he's got.
Andrew Alcorn's girlfriend, Paige Berry, was the name that came up in an interview when we talked to Richard. He told us that we probably needed to focus on looking for or finding Alcorns, based on the fact that he knew Alcorns had been asking a lot of people for money because Paige had gotten arrested and she needed bond money. And Alcorns is kind of one of those guys that's just a little out there, volatile, I guess.
When'd you talk to him? When did he say that?
He said that once. Ron's place.
When was the last time you said it?
Probably about a week before Ron got killed. I mean, it just makes sense to me.
Right.
It was a Saturday.
If he's saying he's gonna kill him,
it was a Saturday that it all happened.
So he said, "I'm gonna go kill Ron to go get money to get his girlfriend out of jail."
Yeah, that's what he wanted. He said he was gonna kill Ron because he needed $1,000 to get his old lady out of jail.
Gotcha.
Once we were provided with Andrew's name, and it came from 2 different people, at least as far as we know, are unrelated at this point, right? We don't know that Chris and Ricky have talked and conspired to give us Andrew's name, right? It was separate incidents in separate situations. That kind of sparks a little bit of, okay, we probably really need to focus our efforts on this Andrew. We're feeling like maybe we're on the right track here. So we want to find him, want to narrow down where he's at, lock him into a statement.
When we started digging into Andrew Alcorn's, we noticed he had some legal issues in other areas and other problems, and very similar instances were occurring that had occurred in our city, had occurred in their city as well, with stolen cars and stolen property.
We found out that Andrew Alcorn and Paige both had been kicked out of one of Ron's apartments, and she had been arrested in a different county a couple days prior.
Paige had attempted to use a stolen credit card that was from a stolen vehicle that she had been in with Andrew Alcorn's. She was captured by the police. However, he got away and his location at that point was unknown. When I got the information about her arrest and just kind of what had happened, I asked if I could have copies or access to their jail phone system so that I could listen to any jail phone calls that were previously made. On the recordings from that county, there were phone calls from Paige to Andrew Alcorn's, conversations about her needing to get out of jail.
How much you gotta get still?
300.
Still gotta get. I thought you only had a couple hundred left earlier.
I do, Paige. I ain't been able to get nothing.
Oh no, baby.
I'm trying my hardest, man.
I'm not getting out tonight, huh?
I'm gonna try, girl.
Why didn't you ask Ron last night?
What?
I said, why didn't you ask Ron last night? Andy, I'm not gonna make it here. Do you realize that?
Paige, I'm trying my absolute hardest, I swear to God.
Once we learned what we learned from Paige and Andy's phone call, we thought that the financial resource that Ron would provide for Paige to get out of jail was absolutely a motive for this crime.
We need to find this guy quickly because he could be a potential threat. He could do something else now. I mean, he's kind of running amok and his world is starting to slowly crash in on him. Later, we learned that Andrew and Paige were barricaded inside this apartment in Dayton, Ohio. The Dayton Police Department surrounded the house. They had assembled their SWAT team and their negotiating team. We know him to be volatile. We know him to have guns. And so I wasn't completely sure that we would arrive and Alcorn's or Paige would still be alive by the time I got there.
I was with a photographer that day that listens to a police scanner a lot. So he was listening to that and he goes, hey, they're surrounding an apartment building on Arnold Place. And it sounds like they're looking for a homicide suspect. So we're like, let's go over there. Maybe we get them being brought out, get video of them being put in a cruiser, and hey, we got an extra thing for our news. When you're trying to cover an event like this, I mean, you're seeing and hearing the tear gas being fired. You're thinking you can hear the gunshots, but he was inside an apartment, so that was tough to hear, you know, is that a tear gas canister I'm hearing, or is that a gunshot I'm hearing? It's all a little bit of a mystery exactly what's going on.
I was back and forth with the SWAT team and the negotiators. They had said that they heard one single gunshot. It didn't come from any of them on the outside. So they believed that inside the apartment, one round had been fired. They had attempted several times to make contact with Andrew in the apartment.
At some point, Alcorn's gun had jammed and given Paige the opportunity to basically flee the apartment. Once Paige was able to flee, get to safety, Dayton PD was getting ready to make a dynamic entry into the building. They heard another shot.
They had said that they heard one round had been fired. They found Andrew in the closet with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but he did not die.
The apartment was searched. Semi-automatic handgun was located along with ammunition, and then there was drugs and drug paraphernalia also located. When Grant and I went to Dayton a few days later and spoke to Paige at the jail, we asked her specifically about the possibility and the capabilities of Andrew killing Ron. And she did say that he was suicidal and had been doing a lot of drugs and was pretty much an unstable person at this point.
I did attempt an interview with Mr. Alcorn, however, he declined to provide a statement to us. I was just able to secure the DNA. Through the investigation, the DNA information came back from the headphones that were located at the scene. It did not implicate Chris Johnson and did not implicate Richard Stevenson. It did, however, come back to Andrew Alcorn.
Based on everything that we had, the evidence, the statements, his actions, we did believe that at this point, Andrew Alcorn was our suspect.
Andrew Alcorn was arrested for the murder of Ron Wiles, and later pleaded guilty, receiving a 70-year sentence. Ron was known for his kindness and the life he lived, making his death all the more tragic and undeserved.